Hi, everybody. Welcome to this webinar. Thank you for joining us. My name is Manny. I'm a programs coordinator here at the Scholastic Awards, and I'm joined here by my colleagues Alexis, Anthea, Sydney, Daniel, and Talia. If each of you want to introduce yourselves.
I can go. Hello, thank you so much for joining. My name is Talia, and I'm also a programs coordinator at the Scholastic Awards. I'll pass it to Anthea.
Hi, my name is Anthea. I am the manager for programs and communications, and I work very closely with all the folks that are on the conversation with on the panel with us today, and I really look forward to helping addressing your questions. I'm going to pass it to Daniel.
Hi, everyone. I'm Daniel with the Scholastic Awards. So excited to be here and for all of you to be here as well. Thanks. I'll pass it to Sydney.
Hi, my name is Sydney. I am office coordinator with the Scholastic Awards and really looking forward to being here with you all today.
Hi everyone, I'm Alexis behind the scenes. I work with the affiliate partners and I'll be answering all your Q&A questions as we talk through this webinar.
Awesome. Thank you all. I think that was everyone. Obviously here, so today we're going to be covering how students can enter the 2021 Scholastic Awards from home, and also how parents and guardians can support them in the process. And then after the presentation, we're going to have a roughly 30-minute Q&A session. So just a couple notes before we begin. Today's session is being recorded, so please don't stress about missing anything. It will be shared via email with everyone in attendance. Also, closed captions will be available during the presentation portion of the webinar, so thank you, Sydney, for providing those. And then you can also turn those on by clicking the closed caption button on the bottom in your toolbar. And then during the second half of our time together, the rest of my staff will be typing answers into the Q&A box during the Q&A portion of the session. Which brings me to my next point. Please do ask questions in the Q&A box and not the chat box. They are two separate things. You can find the Q&A button also in the bottom toolbar. And then just make sure that when you ask questions, and if you see other questions in the Q&A list, you can also upvote on them and also use the comment tools to group similar questions. We will be answering the most common questions first at the end of the presentation, so that will definitely help us find your question. And then just one other quick note for educators that are joining us today. While today's session is mainly student focused, please note that the process for creating and navigating an educator account is somewhat similar. So this session will still be helpful for you. We also had an educator focus session earlier in the fall, and you can find a recording of that on YouTube at a link that I can also drop into the chat box right now. And we definitely encourage educators to view it in case you have any educator specific questions. All right, so that ends our introduction. So we can jump right into our presentation. Let me just go ahead and share my screen. All righty. Okay. So, as I mentioned, we're going to be covering a brief, one moment, let me switch my correct screen. So yeah, we're going to be covering a brief introduction to the Scholastic Awards, and then we're going to go through a step-by-step walkthrough of the entry process for students. If you are attending this webinar, you are in a regional program for either art, writing, or both. You can check which regions and also your specific deadlines for each of the art or writing regions you belong to directly in your account, or by checking your school zip code on the My Region page of our website at artandwriting.org. And I will walk through that process a little bit later on. And then lastly, as I mentioned before, during the last 30 minutes or so of our time together, we're going to have a Q&A session. We tried to build in as many questions as we could into our presentation that we've received from students in the past. But if there's anything that we missed, please feel free to, again, ask in the Q&A box, not the chat box. You can ask them, you can type them in throughout the presentation, and then we're going to go over as many as we can at the end, starting with the most common questions first. We also have a lot of people joining here today. So if we're not able to get to every single question, we invite you to email us at info@artandwriting.org, and we will get back to you promptly there as well. And then just a quick recap, just a quick couple norms for the webinar. Everyone is muted on here. So again, please, if you have any questions, drop them into the Q&A box to help streamline questions that come in. And then I won't be answering any questions during the presentation, but they will all be reserved at the end during the Q&A session. All right. So let's jump right in. Brief introduction to the awards. So the awards were started in 1923 by the founder of the Scholastic Publishing Company. The awards was originally founded as a recognition program for young creatives, founded during a time where literary opportunities were limited, especially for young people. The Alliance for Young Artists and Writers has grown exponentially since its inception. The Alliance identifies teenagers with exceptional artistic and literary talents, and throughout the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards platform, connects creative youth with opportunities for recognition, exhibition, publication, and scholarships. Students across America submitted nearly 300,000 original works in 2020 in 29 different categories of art and writing. So now let's take a quick look at a year at a glance. So the awards opened for entry on September 1st. So right now students are in the phase where they are creating an original piece of art or writing and entering it directly to the program through their student dashboard. Your educators also have an opportunity at this time to create their own accounts where they can support you with your entries. The deadline the deadline for entries varies by region, and they began on December 1st. So your deadline is probably coming up very quickly in the next couple weeks. Just something to keep in mind as you continue working. And you may have a different deadline for your other entries as well, depending if you're entering art, writing, or both. When we look through the entry process in a couple minutes, we'll point out where you can find your art and writing deadlines. And all students who enter to the regional awards in the fall are considered for our honorable mention, Silver Key, and Gold Key awards. All students who receive our highest honor at the regional level, our Gold Key award, are then automatically considered for a national award, and our national gold medalists are then invited to Carnegie Hall in June. So this is really just the beginning of a full school year of programming through the Scholastic Awards, and we are super excited to be able to spend that time with you and celebrating your achievements. Also just want to point out one important note for this year's events. While of course at this time we don't know if regional and national ceremonies and exhibitions will be in person or virtual due to the COVID-19 situation, rest assured that students will be celebrated one way or the other. Okay. So let's jump right into how to enter. What is that process? What does that look like? Really, it's 3 easy steps to enter the awards. First, you're going to create an account at artandwriting.org. The second, you're going to, in your dashboard, upload a piece of original work. And then 3, you just complete your entry by the deadline. And again, deadlines vary by region, so be sure to check your art and writing deadlines either in your account or on the My Region page of our website at artandwriting.org. Pro tip for students creating accounts: we highly recommend including an email that you check regularly. School emails can deactivate over the summer or upon graduation. So when uploading original work, it's imperative to note all of the works that you might have referenced to gather inspiration for that work. This will confirm that you haven't plagiarized the original work, and then please also keep in mind that all entries are digital, so they should all be uploaded to your dashboard digitally. This will require students and parents or guardians to print, sign, and upload both entry and payment forms, or digitally sign all the forms to complete the entry. Some of you may also have the option to mail them in as well, but again, please check your regional webpage to find those specific guidelines if you have to do it digitally or you have the option to mail it in. So What do I mean by a complete entry? A complete entry consists of a signed entry form, which, by the way, new for this year, educators do not need to sign the entry forms, only the student and a parent or guardian. And then you need to complete your entry fee, which again can be either paid via PayPal or an external payment site. Or again, depending on your region, you also have the option to mail in a check. But again, depending on your region. The fourth option for payment is a fee waiver form, and that's if payment poses a barrier to your participation and you're unable to pay. But again, we're going to look at all of these payment options later on when we start going through the actual process of entering. Okay. So going to talk a little bit more about entry fees and fee waivers. So the entry fee for individual works is $7 per work, and then $25 for portfolios. And portfolios are relevant for seniors in 12th grade only. Depending on your region, payments must be processed digitally through PayPal, again, or an external payment site. And again, you may have the option to mail in a check, but again, depends on your region. So please be sure to check your account or your region's web pages to find out what your specific regional guidelines are. For students, again, whom the entry fee poses a barrier to your participation, they can access the fee waiver form in your account. And so like digital payment forms, fee waivers must be signed by a parent or guardian prior to being digitally uploaded. And then lastly, if you know that your educator is interested in bulk payment for all of their student entries, please have that educator reach out to the regional manager with Scholastic. You can find your regional manager's contact info on the regional programs webpage, again, which you can find through your account or through the My Region page at artandwriting.org. Okay. So now we're going to talk a little bit about categories. So this year we have 28 different categories of art and writing that students can enter to, in addition to a number of what we call our direct scholarships, which are additional opportunities for recognition. All of this is available on our website, and I would really encourage you all to check out the information on each of the categories. Two things I want to point out that are new this year. The first is we have a new category called expanded projects. And so again, please just check out the categories page for more information on that new category. And then the second point is, again, this is for seniors in 12th grade related to portfolios. So this year, seniors only need 6 works instead of 8 to enter a portfolio. This was a change that we felt would make it easier for students and educators transitioning to virtual learning. Also just note that a written statement is now required to enter a portfolio. It's about 50 words or so. So we'll walk again through that whole process later on of how to enter an individual work and a portfolio. And again, lastly, as I've mentioned, just want to drive the point home, we really do encourage all students applying to look at all the category descriptions to make sure that you're accurately submitting to the category, the appropriate category. And so now I'm sure a lot of you are wondering how exactly are works selected and what is the judging process. So first and foremost, the entries undergo a blind adjudication process where jurors can not access personal student information. And this is to ensure that entries are judged purely on merit. And this is why the Scholastic Awards asks that you not provide identifiers such as your name, age, race or ethnic background or regional location in your work title. So judges make their decisions based on the excellence of 3 criteria. The first one is originality, the second one is technical skill, and the third one is emergence of personal voice or vision. So some of the questions that the judge asks themselves during the judging process is the submission original? Is it different, surprising, or unexpected? Does the submission go beyond what began as a classroom assignment? Does the submission demonstrate technical skill? And the importance of technical skill lies in how the student uses their technique and tools to communicate their ideas, concepts, and expressions in an innovative way. And then lastly, is there a personal voice or vision? Is it unique? Does it make you curious? Are you moved by it? So as you're creating and editing, ask yourselves these questions to help guide you in the right direction. And who are our judges? Entries get judged by a group of talented individuals working in the literary or creative arts in your region's community. We utilize the skill sets and expertise of people in different areas to get a ton of different perspectives on each piece of student work that comes across through each regional program. And this diverse pool of jurors includes talented local writers and artists, whether it be artists with an exhibition currently open at a gallery or a recently published writer, their region's own local educators, curators, editors, any of the above. Okay, and so now I'm about to jump into actually reviewing the entry process. So before I get into that, just want to again mention if you have any questions, please feel free to type them directly into the Q&A box. All right, so I'm just going to switch my screens over. Bear with me one moment. All right. So the first step to entering the awards is visiting artandwriting.org. So when you get to this homepage, there's going to be 3 key buttons on this page that serve as guideposts for navigating the process. So the first one that is very important is the how to enter page. And so you can find that by clicking the awards here and then click how to enter. So this page here just kind of gives you the bare bones of the process in just very simplistic terms. So for example, how to complete your entry, category descriptions, what happens next. So this may be probably your first step. If this is your first time entering the awards, definitely check out this page to start. The second really important page is the My Region page, which I've mentioned multiple times already throughout the presentation. So this is where you are going to find your regional web pages and your deadlines, which is arguably the most important aspect. So what you're going to do first is start by entering your your school zip code. If you are homeschooled, you would enter your home zip code here. So we're just going to use one of the ones that I've used before. And then we're going to click Find Region. And then we're going to see here that it brings you to your actual regional web page. So this is a very important page because it has your deadline in this big blue box here. And then it's also going to spell out all of the guidelines on how to enter, you know, the payment instructions and other important announcements for your region. If you are entering to both art and writing, you also have this button here where you can toggle between your art and writing region. And again, it's very important to note that you may have different instructions, guidelines, and deadlines for art versus writing. Okay. And then of course, the last important button is log in. And then this is where we're actually going to jump into entering a work. So we're going to click login here. I'm just going to jump to my sandbox version first, so that way I don't actually create real students and real works. But still, it's going to mirror the process pretty much exactly as if it was a real student and entering a real work. Okay, so first you're going to get to this screen here, and then you're going to click Create New Account and choose I'm a Student. Okay. And then it's going to bring you to a very simple student sign up page. We're just going to fill in some information for a fake student. So today we are signing up as Patrick Starr. Spell today. And again, just make sure here that when you're using an email address, make sure it's one that you use very frequently or have access to, not a school email, because again, those can deactivate over the summer. And so you may have to create a new account as a student where otherwise you wouldn't need to. And we're just going to create a password. And then we're going to fill in date of birth here. And so the reason why we ask this is because per our guidelines, only students that are in between 7th and 12th grade and are 13 years or older can enter the awards. If you are not yet 13, you will need to wait until you're 13 on or before the entry deadline in order to create an account. But you should still have all of your materials ready to enter once you do turn 13. So let me see, how old is Patrick Starr? Here's his birthday. And then Patrick is going to enter both art and writing. And he is in 12th grade. And then the next step you're going to get to is this green button here. What school do you attend? So you're going to select this here. And then you'll be able to select your school based on your state. Also note here you have a checkbox. If you are a homeschool student, just make sure that you check this box. And again, this is important because your region is dependent on your school zip code. So if you are homeschooled, we want to make sure that we're capturing that so that you are placed into the correct region and that you have the correct deadline. But for Patrick, he goes to school in Tennessee, and his school is Bikini Bottom High School, of course. And then we're just going to answer here, how did you find out about the awards? He found out from another student. We'll assume it was SpongeBob, and we'll create an account. Okay, so now it's going to take you to this landing page here, and you'll notice here that there's 2 important links here. Again, these are linking directly to your specific regional program web pages, which we looked at before on the My Region page on artandwriting.org. These lead you to the same regional web pages. So then you can just continue here, and then you're going to be brought to another landing page. And then here is where you'll be able to review all of the upcoming scholarships available for students this year. And then later on, when you're actually uploading your work, you'll have the opportunity to actually opt in and choose if you want to enter for that specific scholarship. And we'll get to that a little bit later. But this page is more just an overview so you get a sense of what is available scholarship-wise. So then we'll scroll down and we'll click Start Now. And then you'll be brought to your main dashboard. So couple things to note here on the main dashboard. The first thing is on the top right here, you're going to see your deadlines in big, bold, red lettering. Underneath that, you're again going to see your regional web pages. Again, these are very important because they have all of your specific guidelines and other announcements that are related to your region. And then underneath that, you'll see your school. And then again, underneath that, again, just an overview of the scholarships. And then the participation terms underneath that, again, just so you have it on your dashboard so you have easy access to make sure that the work that you're entering is following our copyright and plagiarism guidelines. Okay, so before we continue and actually upload a work, you'll see that there's this red bar here that asks us to complete our profile. So we're going to do that first. So just right off the bat, we ask for certain information here, like your mailing address, city, state. This is really mainly just for communication purposes. And also if you do win an award, this is how we can reach you in terms of, like mailing out your award or medal, and also just being able to contact you through email or phone if you do reach top honors, and then that way we can contact you. So for Patrick Starr, we're just going to fill out his information. Let's see. So he lives in Bartlett here. His mailing address is going to be 6072. These are made up, of course. Let's see, what else am I missing? Let's change that to. Okay, that's not correct. And of course, his email is patrick.star3. Okay, So once you fill out this first top section of your personal information, just be sure to press the blue save button here. The way this page works, it's separated out into 3 sections, if you will. There's the personal student information section up here, then parent guardian information, and school and update, and they all have their separate save buttons. So just make sure again that you press save after you finish, so that way it really captures. Okay. And then we'll just fill in, let's see, this is Janet, star, gmail.com, and we'll click save. Okay. So all of his information is updated now. And so when we go back, we'll see that the red bar is gone. Okay. So now, oh, actually, I just wanted to go over one more thing back in the profile section. Completely missed that. So if you'll see here, school, you can click edit and then it opens up and then you'll be able to see the school that we selected in the beginning, Bikini Bottom High School. And then you also have this option here to add an other educational program. So an other educational program is essentially an after school program or some sort of extracurricular, again, after school place where if that's where you really created your work instead of at your day school, you have the option to add it and choose it here. And then also you can add an educator that's tied to that other educational program. And so if you do win an award, that educator will get credit. So that's just something to point out if that is relevant to you. Okay. But Patrick does not have another educational program, so we'll go back to the dashboard. And now we're actually going to go through the process of adding a work. So you're going to click Add Work. Okay. And then we're just going to fill out some basic information about the work. So we're going to, it's called Amazing Photo. And this is going to be a photography piece. So we're going to select art here. Also just want to point out for this drop-down box here, what type of work this is, you will always see art and writing here unless one of the deadlines has passed for your region for either art or writing. In that case, it will have disappeared and you only see the one option that the deadline has not yet passed for. So we're going to select art and we're going to look at all the different categories and we see photography here. So Patrick is going to upload photography. Next we go to school and educator. Okay. And then here again, we'll see his school. And then also in this yellow box here, if you click here, you also, this is another spot where you can add another educational program if you so have one. And then underneath that, we'll see educator information. And so before this presentation, I've already set up an educator that's tied to Bikini Bottom High School. So if you're a student, you will, and you added Bikini Bottom High School as your school, you will see all educators that are tied to that school in this list here. If you don't see an educator, your educator there, but should be, and they worked with you on the work, you can add a new educator by clicking this link right here. But Patrick worked with Mr. Krabs, so we're going to select that box and then move on to the copyright and plagiarism policy section. And then here, students just need to read and agree that they read and understood the copyright and plagiarism guide. We do encourage students to thoroughly look through this guide to make sure that they have a clear understanding that the work that they're entering is eligible or if it's in violation of our guidelines. We do review each piece carefully to make sure that it's in accordance with the guidelines, and we will remove awards that are in violation. But we're gonna move forward. We're gonna say Patrick read it, his work is original, click the box, and now we can go to the actual section where we upload. Okay, so you're just gonna have a couple questions here that asks you a little bit more about the work. So what sources did we use? Patrick came up with it on his own. We're gonna list out the dimensions of the work, the height and width, so it'll be 5 by 9. What materials and tools did he use? He used Photoshop. And then it asks us to tag your work. And so this is just an opportunity. So if you list a tag, if you do win an award, we sort of just collect all of the different tags that are tied with certain works. So, you know, if we want to publish your work in any capacity in Best of Teen Art or Writing, or, you know, feature it on social media, we often use the tags to find certain works that we want to feature for certain articles or whatever it may be. So we're going to list it as awards. And then we can actually upload our image here, and then this is the actual work. So I already have some dummy work set up here. I'll just select one of them. Okay, and so now the work has been uploaded. One thing I want to point out is when you're uploading an image, you do want to make sure that it's high quality, or as high quality as you can possibly make it. We do hear a lot of feedback from jurors that high quality images are helpful to have when judging. And the way you can tell is by this last line here, the print quality line. We can see here that it says good. As long as it says good or excellent, you're in great shape. If it does say poor quality or like any text in red, you may want to consider re-uploading a new image with maybe a different file, or use a different camera, or whatever it may be, to make sure that it's as best quality as it can be. So that way you put your best foot forward and your best work forward. So we're good here. So now we can move on to featured scholarships. And as I mentioned before, this is the actual page where you will opt into scholarships if your work is eligible for them. So each award is tied to a theme or a specific organization that students need to be a part of in order to participate. And again, each one requires a short written statement about why they're entering that piece for that specific scholarship. So students out there, make sure that you're reading all of the scholarships that are here to see if any of your works are eligible for it. Also, you'll see here, so basically to opt in, you just click the link here. You'll see a brief description about what the scholarship is about. And then you'll see a checkbox here. And then you'll say, yes, please consider my work for that scholarship. And then you'll read a short description about the written statement. And then you write your written statement here, which is about 50 words. That's really all it takes to opt in for a scholarship. It's really not much work. So we really do encourage you all to do it if your work is eligible. Okay. But today, Patrick will not be opting in for any scholarships. So we're just going to move forward to our overall review page. Okay. So depending on your region, you may see at the top here this little section asking how you plan to send in your entry form, either by digital upload or by mailing it in along with your payment. Just want to point this out because depending on your choice, your payment option will need to match it, either digital or by mail. And then we will see that later during the payment part of the entry process. But for now, we're just going to say we're going to digitally upload the form. And so we'll see here just a brief overview of the work and all of the information that we entered. Make sure to just skim through this and see that everything is accurate. Award certificates that students receive will have information spelled out exactly as it is here in their accounts and on the review page. So just make sure that everything is correct in terms of spelling and capitalization, for example. So now we've uploaded our work, and now we're on to our second other big step, which is completing the entry form. So we can access the entry form in this box right here. Complete registration right here. So you have the option to either print it or download it. Today we're going to download it. We'll do it digitally. So now that I've downloaded it, I have it here and we'll pull it up for us to see. Okay, so this is an entry form. This is what they all look like. You will see that every entry form consists of the same information. It's going to be student information, instructions on how to enter this specific work for your particular regional program, and then also information about the work, including a unique barcode for the work. And then when we scroll down, we will see lines here for your student signature and then a parent or guardian signature. And again, just a reminder, educator signatures are not required this year, but we do still encourage educators to review student works just to make sure that they're the best versions that they can be, and to make sure that they're original works and that they follow the copyright and plagiarism guideline that we have. Okay, so we're gonna pretend that Patrick signed his form, his parent or guardian signed the form as well, it's all ready. And so now we're gonna come back to our screen here on the review page, and then we're gonna click this button here, upload submission form. So this is gonna bring us to this page here. And so then we're gonna notice that submission form status has not yet been uploaded. We're going to choose file. And of course, I already have a dummy entry form already set here. Again, we're pretending that it's completed. And we're gonna select it. Make sure that you click this green upload form button. This button is actually what initiates the upload. And once we do that, we'll see this green bar at the top saying the form was uploaded, and we'll see that the submission form status now says uploaded, and now we're all set to go. All right, so now that work has been uploaded, entry form has been completed and uploaded, our last step is payment. So we can select this button here, go to payment. Okay. And so again, depending on your region, students may have the option to either pay digitally via PayPal or an external payment site, or pay by mailing a check. And then lastly, if students find payment to be a barrier to the participation, they can elect to complete a fee waiver instead in order to participate in the awards. So first, we're gonna go through the process as if we're paying by PayPal. So we're gonna select this checkbox here next to our work, and we're gonna see that now we can pay with PayPal. And again, if you remember, when I went through the entry form, or on the review page before when we uploaded the work, I had originally selected that I was gonna digitally upload the form, and that's why here we only have the option for digital. If we had selected entry form by mail, we instead would have the option to pay by check and by mail. But for now, we're doing it with by digital with PayPal. So we're gonna click pay by PayPal. And then this is going to bring us out to the PayPal page here. And so if you have a PayPal account, you can log in here and pay that way. If you don't have a PayPal account, that is also okay. Just select this box here to pay with a debit or credit card. And again, individual entries are $7 a piece, and then for portfolios, it would be $25. So we're gonna pretend that Patrick went through the process of paying and filled out all of this information. So after we have completed payment, when we go back into our account, we're gonna see that the status here has changed. Of course, since I didn't actually complete payment, it tells me that it's incomplete. But if you had paid correctly, you will see that it said paid by PayPal, and then you were all set to go. We'll just reset the status here. Okay. Let's see. And then the last thing, again, if you are unable to pay for your entries, but you still want to enter the awards, you can do so by scrolling down to the bottom on this payment page, and you'll see this other checkbox here. Is this submission fee a barrier to your participation? If so, check the box, which we will. Next, you're going to click this green button, confirm, and then it's going to bring you to this other fee waiver page. So here, you're going to notice a couple things. First, that form status, of course, has not been uploaded yet. So on step one, we see we can, just like the entry forms, we can either print the form or download the fee waiver form. We're going to download again for today. And we'll open it up so we can take a look. Okay. And so this is the fee waiver form. And again, you're going to see student information, information about the work. And then again, just like the entry form, we will see signature lines for the parent or guardian and for the student. Again, students, just make sure that you talk to your parents about this to make sure that this is the right option for you. And then have them fill out the form. And then when we go back into the screen here, just like the entry forms, we have a button here, upload signed fee waiver form, which we will select. Again, just like entry forms, choose. And I have my dummy fee waiver form already here. Click the green upload form button, and we'll see again this green bar at the top, and the status has changed now to uploaded. And one other important thing I just want to point out is if you have multiple works, you will need multiple, so entry forms are unique to each entry that you upload. So if you have, let's say, 3 works that you want to enter, you will need to print out and complete 3 separate entry forms for each of those works. However, with fee waiver forms, you only have to complete 1 fee waiver form and upload that completed form to your profile, and that will cover all of your works. Alrighty. So now that we've gone through those 3 steps, our work has been uploaded. So what we can do is just check the main status in the middle here. So we'll see that work status has been uploaded, submission form uploaded, payment status, we waived the fee, submission status, submitted. We've completed all of our steps. Don't worry if you see yellow text here. Sometimes we get questions about that. All that means is that you've still completed your step, you're all good. It just means pending. It just means that our staff has to review it during the judging process. But once it has been processed, that status will change from yellow to green. So as long as you see green and yellow for your works, you're all set. If you see red, you're going to want to go back in and see what's missing to make sure that your entry is completed correctly, and so it will be entered to the awards. And that is the process of entering an individual work. So I'm just going to briefly jump into, this is for seniors, anyone who's in 12th grade, how to upload a portfolio, because we've gotten a lot of questions about this. So I'm just going to log out of Patrick Star and sign into another student I had already created. Of course, it's Squidward Tentacles. Okay. So Squidward has uploaded, he's also in 12th grade. He's uploaded all of his works, and when we scroll to the bottom, we see that he also has an art portfolio already uploaded here. So I'll just open this one so we can get a sense of what it looks like. But if you were creating one for the first time, you would of course click this blue button, Add Art Portfolio here. But when we click and edit here, it will look exactly the same. So when you get here, well, the first thing you need to do before you actually upload your portfolio, you need to make sure that all of the works that you want part of the portfolio are first uploaded to your dashboard as individual entries. So that way, when you get to this screen here, you have your works already here, eligible works. And then what you'll do is drag and drop the works that you want into the portfolio into the yellow section here. And again, portfolios are 6 works this year and no longer 8. Okay, so then of course we're going to give it a title here, and then just like individual entries, we're going to choose, we have the option for this particular student because of the particular regions he's in to choose either digital or by mail in terms of entry forms and payment. So we're going to stick with digital. And then when we scroll down, we'll see here that you have to select your educators. Something I want to point out also that I don't think I mentioned before, students can select up to 3 educators for each work. So if there's multiple educators that helped you on a work, you can select more than 1 and then up to 3. So for this one, Squidward, of course, also attends Bikini Bottom High School, and Mr. Krabs is also his educator. So we're going to select Eugene Krabs. And then when we scroll down further, we're going to see 2 things here, the personal statement and the artist statement. So the difference here, well, first let me back up. So each statement must not exceed 500 words. So the artist or writer statement This one provides insight into the themes or processes used to create the portfolio, and this is viewable by jurors during the judging process. The personal statement, on the other hand, is more about a story from your life or describing an experience that either demonstrates your character or helped to shape it. This statement will not be available to view by jurors, but it may be viewed by a scholarship committee should your portfolio advance to the national round of judging. And then so after we've completed these steps, again, I'm just gonna add in some fake statements here. We're gonna scroll down to the bottom and choose Save and Close. Whoops. Not sure why it led me out there, but it would take you back out here. And I think because of that weird glitch, it now says not submitted, but that process that I just went through was correct. And so you would have it uploaded here and all of the statuses should be good, green or yellow. And that is the process of uploading works and entering the awards. I think I've covered everything. So before we hop back into the presentation again, if anyone has any questions again about the entry process, because there's a lot here, again, please feel free to drop them into the Q&A box if you haven't been doing so already. All right, so I'm gonna jump back to my other presentation. All righty. Okay, so just before we hop off here and switch to our Q&A section, I just wanted to share with you a reminder of some important upcoming dates and deadlines. Entry deadlines, as I've said throughout the presentation, because it's a very important point, entry deadlines vary by region, and they did start on December 1st, but that may be different again for your region. We do highly suggest that you finalize your entries before your deadline, since our system is often overloaded with entries around this time. After that point, student works are in our hands, and then we begin processing them and then getting back in touch with them after judging has completed. And like entry deadlines, regional award notifications vary by region, but all students will be able to see if they've received an award in their accounts on January 28th. All students who receive our top regional award, the Gold Key, are automatically considered for national awards, and they will be notified if they receive a national silver medal, a gold medal, or a direct scholarship on March 17th. And then last but not least, students who receive a gold medal at the national level or a direct scholarship are invited to join us for a celebration and ceremony here in New York City on June 9th. But again, which as I mentioned earlier, that may be virtual this year, that is still to be determined. Okay, that basically wraps up the presentation. So I just want to thank you all so much again for joining us today. Please visit these sources that are on the screen here for more information about the program. And also feel free to email us at info@artandwriting.org with any questions. Or you can email your affiliate directly by finding their contact information on your regional webpage. And also we've created a series of step-by-step videos to help students and educators create and navigate their accounts. And we can drop those into the chat as well. Okay, and so again, before we hop off and switch to the Q&A, please at this time, feel free to type in any final questions into the Q&A box. I will be following up via email with a recording of this webinar, so everyone has it for their records. Thank you so much for joining us today. It really has been a pleasure going through this process with you.